Alright, what is up YouTube? It's Cord Campbell. And here we are again, coding. Did 2 streams yesterday, so about 3 hours, split it up into 2 sessions. Today we'll do something between an hour and a half and 2 hours. Yeah, listen to myself. Let's see here. What do I sound? Yep, sounds good. I'll fiddle with that no more. Okay, so I'll try not to close it today either. Okay, so we have some sample code up. The code is the authentication system for Mitta. This is the code I've been threatening to put up in a project that can be deployed to AppEngine that just provides a basic authentication framework for starting a project on AppEngine and then having passwordless authentication available to you. And in a future video, I will put all that together and then we'll publish it up on maybe the Grub project. I'm thinking Grub because what would be cool is if we could get the Solr box and the Grub box and then the AppEngine stuff all deployed simultaneously. And then have that where it has a light little framework that can let you operate on stuff where it's not Mitta necessarily, but it's a light little framework to let you have the APIs and you know, log in and get your tokens and stuff like that. So basically just like a little thin wrapper for the API stuff. We need, let's see, some other stuff here. I'm just gonna make a few notes here. So I started this morning. I think what I'm gonna do is start keeping a log. And I've written so much code, it probably would have behooved me to have kept a log earlier, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've got a lot done. And this morning, I really cleaned up the authentication system, which is why I went ahead and threw it up. I got rid of one entire handler up at the top, which was, I think it was called, oh, well, this is actually it right here. It was called login. And that just didn't make any sense. So I got rid of it. And because we have a login and then an email, and the email does the exact same thing. So let's go through how the logins actually work. And I'm just going to run you through those. I might as well. It doesn't matter. So we have this button, sign up button. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. It does something a little bit different. But basically, if you click on login here or login here, I think this thing, the demo, I don't think that actually works. So what we should do is we should change that real quick. And the reason it doesn't work is because for whatever reason, it can't crawl itself. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if it's some issue with the browser not like having a duplicate URL in there is weird for it, or what the deal is. But anyway, so, sorry, I'm getting texts, but I'll try to focus here. So, what we want is this demo. Let's see here. Let's see. So we have this is at the bottom. Over here, covered up. Maybe this won't be, so you can't hear it in the mic. So that's the email, and then here's the demo right here. Okay, so what we really need here is something like maybe Google News, like that. We could do that. That can be the demo for now. So if we go over here and look at it, let's reload this. We've got this, so we click on it, and what it does is it puts it up in the URL. Now, this is sort of how it works. So if you go to news.google.com, and then now that's going to go to a separate URL, but nevertheless. And then you type in meta.us and you hit a slash there, then what happens is it's going to go ask you to log in, okay? So we're gonna just go back to localhost because that's where we're doing dev. I'm just illustrating how it works if you were to want to use it. But you can also make a button out of it, and so then you could just post a link somewhere, and then somebody can click on it, and then it's going to ask them to log in. So you're going to do that, and then you just click submit. And in this case, this is going to ask me to log in with my phone because it's texting my phone, and so it's texting me now with a token. But what I'm going to do instead is, with the code that it's into my phone, a 6-digit code, is I'm going to click on that send me a token instead. And what it does up here is it tells it to use a token in the URL. Now, if we look at this, these things that we have in the URL, those things in login systems, those are what you would consider dangerous items. And they would be dangerous in as much as if somebody changes them in the login flow, that you don't want those things to affect the login. In other words, you don't want them to be assumed that they're idempotent. I think that's the way to put it. In other words, non-mutable. These things should be assumed to be mutable as much as possible. If I change that use token to something else, like a 0, for example, then what's going to happen is it's not actually going to do much. I think it's going to ask me for it's going to send me another phone code, I think. But in this case, what it did was it went back to the login form, but then it added a new saying there to the user, which says, hey, you need to hit enter or click submit to get a login by email. So it took them back to the form after they submitted their email address, but then it put the email address in the parameters, the options of the URL, so that then the form could pre-populate itself with it. Google changed, and I think Firefox, I think it was some suggested security change. They changed it to where it couldn't be pre-populated by the browser for secure logins. So the whole idea is your email address is, it's part of your login. Especially here, it's part of your login. On many sites, it's part of your login. And so it's sort of secure. It's not assumed to be something that people don't know because you're going to give people your email address, obviously. But in the case of having it pre-populated, you don't want to go, say, over to somebody else's house, or if you're at work somewhere or you're using some other computer to access Mitta or any site for that matter. You don't want that field remembering your email address if you've been logged out. And so here, though, because you just entered it, I wanted it to make it convenient for the user that if they didn't have access to their phone and they wanted to go get a code, they could do that. So here I'm going to click submit, and then what's going to happen is it's going to pass them off a code. Now, here's the deal, is that now let's go look at this real quick. If we've now asked for a token, codes go to your phone, tokens go to your email, and tokens are also used for the API calls. So there's a separate token for those. If we go and look at I'm kind of hesitating here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's okay. If I'm going to go here and look, you can't see the whole API token. These will all be rotated eventually anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click on my account, and then I'm going to go look at my phone code, and you'll see that my phone code is no longer whatever it just texted me. It actually created a ginormous hash. And the reason it does that is because we don't want to let someone log in. So I was just making sure that was still working as a security feature. And now what I'm going to do is I need to, well, let's see here. Let me think about this. I'm going to do this on dev. So I need to go back actually here. I need to start over. Now, what happened here? So, okay. So we're going to do this. Oh, I see what happened. Is I moused over this, and that says Mitta. Well, that's because I've got it like that. So I wonder if I could just got it like this. I wonder if I could just put a slash in front of it. and then that way it'll just work, and I don't have to fiddle with it. And so then, yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, now let's try it. So I'm gonna type in my email address again because it forgot it. Now I've got everything up here. I've got my email, and I'm gonna say I want a token instead because I don't have my phone. And then it goes here, and I can just hit enter. So I don't really have to do much. And then it says, enter the token you received by email. Now, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to check my email online, but I can go in here and I can say, here's my mail token. It actually prints it out in here for me. And I can copy it, and I can go in here and I can paste it. And I can say, verify. And then it goes here. Now, that's not working the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to have remembered that I had a URL or next URL in there. So we're gonna log out, and we're gonna debug this, and we're gonna fix it. So I was thinking this was broken, and for sure it is. And I'll have to go check. Well, actually, we'll just look at the code and make sure that's fixed for if you check your email as well. So let me go down here and show you where that's happening. So if we think about this, it's for the token from email. So there are two of them. And I say two, there are two handlers. So there's a post and there's a get and a post. And both of them log you in. And the reason why is because one of them can be done from so I'm sitting here at email, and I'm going to do a submit, which is going to submit it to email, and then that is going to forward it to the token. And if I type in my code, then what's going to happen, and click verify, then it's going to do a post. So let's look at the page source here. And we can see here that the form method is post, so that means it's going to post a token, and that is this stuff right here, all of this right here. And so what's not happening in here is the next URL stuff is not working for some reason. I don't know why. So we're going to go in here and look and see what we need to do to fix that. And then what we need to do, because we're also emailing the link to the user, is they could just click on it, and then that's a get. And then this needs to be fixed as well. And I say fixed, it needs to be fixed to allow the link that is emailed to them to be the link that contains the next. And you can see here that it does. So it has next in here. So there's the next URL. There's the next URL. It says if next URL equals none. So this needs to be if not, I've been fixing all these, if not next URL. In other words, next URL isn't set. For whatever reason, I was using a bunch of try catches in here, but you don't actually have to do that with Flask. It won't throw an exception here. If there is nothing, and if there's no next set, then it just doesn't care. So the next gets put up here in the URL. And if we look here, we don't have a next. I have super glued my mute button on my iPhone. I have an iPhone X, and I've super glued my mute button open or on so that it doesn't mute itself, because I was constantly muting myself. And now I can't mute it. So I'm going to take my phone out here and put it up. Because this could be beeping a lot as I test this. It's kind of annoying. Okay, so I need to go back. I'm just going to go back to the home page. So here, and I'm going to click on demo, and see then next is set here. So then I'm going to type in my email address, and I'm going to click submit, and then next is still set here. And then I'm going to click on get a token instead, and then you can see down at the bottom it's still set. next is still set. Now we're here, and next is still set. So when I click submit, if I look at the page source, I've got it posting to /email. So it's doing a post to /email, which is here. And then I need to see if I'm pulling out next here somewhere. And there it is right there. But yeah, it's a form Git. But the problem is, oh, well, it is in here as a next, right there. It's also in there as a Git, args, but I don't really care. It's in here as this, so that's good enough for me. And I don't know that I should leave it in there like that. It doesn't matter. It's seriously not going to matter. So then I need to click submit, and it's still in there. There it is where it says next there. So that's great. And then we're going to get this token in here as we did earlier. And these mail tokens are rotated, so I have to copy them each time. I can't assume that it's going to stay the same. So I'm going to copy that, and then we had so at this point we're on token, and we're going to be doing a post. So we're here, and there's the post. So we're going to go down here to the post. We'll fix the Git here in just a second. And then the next URL is not next URL, it's next. And so I'm going to say next. And then let's look inside the page source again, and we should have a next in here. We do. Input type hidden, name next. So then we're going to, so this was named wrong, so we're just going to do this. Right, next URL equals, I call it next URL instead of next because I think if you put next in here, it's like a reserved word or something. So that's why I do that. So if not next URL, then next URL equals request get request args get next. And then we're going to say if not next URL equals nothing. So that's what we're going to do. So basically we try to get it from the form. If it's not then set, we try to get it from the args. If that's not set, then we just make it blank. So there is no next URL. Then we get the op. And then is op in here? Op is in here. And that's a request form get. So, but then op is also up in the URL too, so we could say the same thing here. So we could say op equals request args get op. This is probably kind of overkill. If not op equals 0. And we say if op equals 1, options equals that. So that's basically saying if op equals 1, then that's an opportunity, and that means that someone is trying to sign up and needs to enter their phone number. And at that point, I'm not going to keep the next. Next will not be set. So technically, we should do something like this. Something like that. Because we're not going to keep. I don't want to try to track it through payments. So we're just going to drop it. At that point, we'll just drop the URL. If they came in and started that flow and then decided to go through the payment flow somehow, they got into the payment flow, I just don't care. I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna go that far with it. But I do want to go as far as emailing them the link that works with it, as well as allowing them to switch to using a token to do it. Like that wasn't working before, which is why we're fixing it. So then we say if mail token, we're going to look up the user, we're going to generate a new mail token, we're going to say that they confirm their email, which they did because they went and checked their email, and then we're going to tell them they're authenticated because they are, because we got the user back. And then we're going to update the user. And we're going to do that because we updated some fields, and so we're going to update the user. And then we're going to redirect them to auth token. If that doesn't work. And what that does, I think, is like if the token doesn't authenticate, then it just redirects them back to the token again, and then it gives them an error message. So they're alerted that whatever they entered was wrong. And then they can click cancel to go back. I don't really care to take them back and try to explain what happened. I'd rather just leave them on the page. And then they can figure out they typed in the wrong token. And at that point, I think whenever they come back through to the token, that's the Git on the token, then I think it gets rotated. Let's see here if that's true. It says request args Git mail token. Next URL. Okay, so at this point we're going to be doing a post from this page. It'll be posting, this page will be posting to itself, so that's this page right here. This, we just did a Git, and we did this, and now we're posting to it. So we're saying the next URL equals next. If not next URL, then try to get the arguments. If that doesn't, then we blank. Okay, we just did that. And then we're saying if the option equals 1, then we're going to drop it. Otherwise, we're going to set next equal to next URL in the options. And then we're going to look it up and try to log them in if we can. And if we can't, then we're going to tell them to try again. And then if opportunity equals 1, we're going to redirect to the phone so they can type in their phone number, but that's not going to happen here. And then else if next URL, return redirect to next URL. So what that means is that we're going to go to, we're now logged in, and now we're going to go to the base URL plus a slash plus the extended URL. So here we should be logged in, so we aren't forced back through the login flow. We originally came into the login flow from here. So we should now go back through it. So this looks good. I'm going to save it to make sure that works, and then I'm going to go look at my token, which is here. I don't know if I copied that earlier or not, so I'm going to copy it and paste it in here. And then I'm going to click verify, and it should go to localhost 8080 / then https news.google.com. And it did. That's great. And so then I'm going to hit, and you'll notice here there's a, we still have to deal with some of this. This is a token that's generated for a one-time token that's generated so that it can't be reused. So if you try to hit enter on this, it should just reload the page. So then I'm going to hit enter on this, and it should crawl that. And it did. Now we still have some problems in that the image is not being updated, so I'm going to go write that in here. Initial crawl of URL not updating spool image. This worked, I think, because it had worked before, and they were actually redirected. That's fantastic. Now, if I click to go back, this is probably broken. Yeah. And the reason that's broken is because I was logging in. So that needs to be fixed. So if I go back one more, that's like 4 times. See, I don't know. The problem is now, like if you do a redirect, then the whole idea is if you go back, you should have erased 4 chunks of history, or 5 maybe, but we started here, so this is where we actually started from, so this is where we should have come back from. But I don't know, I might punt on that, but I'm going to need to investigate the issues with erasing history on grub redirect. Okay. One of the issues was that the token wasn't working. Whenever I was trying to use the token and then I click on it, then it would just redirect and ask me to log in again. And I discovered that I had gone in here, I think I actually did it on stream, and I had changed the /t, which I'm using for tag, for /t for the tags on the APIs. I changed that. I had created these as /t in here, but this was for the tokens. So if you go in and you want a token, you type token, and then you hit enter, and then it gives you your token, and then you can copy the token from there, and then the way that it gets it is it uses these two things right here, or you can type something like token reset, I think. Reload? No. Token create. Yeah, no. I can't remember what it is. Let's look. Reset. So why did this reload? Why did reset give me an error? Oh, it gave me an error because there's an error. So it says /a post. What's the error? I'm checking this because it needs to be checked, obviously, because it's broken. jQuery console logging, the key. So I have fixed the, I now have a document click function. So if you click anywhere on this document, anywhere on the page, it will give you a cursor back. I noticed if you click strangely, like if you double click, it does all sorts of weird things, but if you wait just a second and then you click again, then it's fine. So people will just have to get used to that. And I think that's just to be able to handle stuff like this. So you can copy and paste stuff pretty easily in here. Unfortunately, you don't get the paste here, and the reason why is because the paste box is way off the page. But you can paste stuff in, so if I copy this, and then I click here, and then I paste, that totally works. And we also had this problem, I'm kind of bouncing around, but there were a lot of problems that I cleaned up this morning. There was a problem if you hit shift, if you were, like, you're holding down shift to hit that asterisk, and then you hit enter too fast, then you'll get that, but I fixed it to where it doesn't do that anymore. The reason it redirected there is because, or opened a new tab, is because I've got some weird code in search that automatically does that. So just ignore that for a second. We're going to go fix it here in a minute. But so the click issues have been fixed. So now there's no longer a click issue on clicking on stuff in here. And I've decided that that it's probably best to leave this code in the jQuery console. This is the entirety of the code. And I want to show you compared to jQuery terminal, which is a pretty cool, I mean, honestly, is a pretty cool project. So I'm going to give you some examples here. I started to use this because I like it. So here's an Ajax example. So you can post to a script, and then you can do stuff with the response. And so here's a demo. I don't know what the username is. What is it? Did it tell me? Demo and demo. Okay, well now I'm authenticated. Okay, well that's nice. So help. And then so I can do an ls. ls star. I don't know. Who am I? So it's got my user agent. Okay, so that's great, right? So now I'm going to look at the page source. Well, that's pretty small. Now I'm going to look at jQuery terminal. Okay, well that's a little out of control. Okay, honestly, that's the CSS. Now I'm going to look at the jQuery terminal source. So this is the jQuery terminal source. And I mean, I think you get the idea. So if I were to try to figure out what was going on with this, it would just be impossible. And I'm not saying that this is much better, but this is pretty short. I mean, there's not that much code here. Not anywhere close to as much code as here. And I don't know, it might be something that we need to look at later to use, because I mean, this is, I don't know, this is kind of nice. I mean, we can look at the console. Let's see, let's look at the network and see what the network is doing here. And it should be, yeah, see, it's not actually doing anything. Let's see, help. So let's do who am I? Does that do it? That doesn't do a query. So, I don't know. I mean, this might be much better, but one of the things that I don't know how to do here, for example, is like if I click on something like this, how to update this box. For example, if I have copy this and I paste, I still have the paste problem issue. So that's still an issue. I don't know what it buys me. I think I can do, you can do pipes. So I could do like an ls help or something like that, or help ls maybe. I don't know. It has some pipe. You can implement pipes on it, and actually where the pipe redirects the output and stuff. The pipes on Mitta right now are just fake. They're not real pipes. So if you type something like token reset, for example, like that, that's just a flag basically. So I might change it to where I'm doing something like this instead, or something maybe something like this would make more sense. And then that way, if we decided to use pipes later somehow, we wanted to use redirect pipe, redirect the output, then we could do that. But I just decided that it was just too much, and I had looked at it a few times to use it, and I'm just like, I'm not going to do it, just because I can handle looking at this. I mean, I still don't understand all of it, but I understand a big chunk of it. And so I can sort of deal with like some exceptions that it throws me. I can sort of deal with it here. And what I did is I decided I was going to take that document, where'd it go? It's like right here. This thing right here. So click handler for document. And so what this does is it just makes sure that you have, if you click somewhere on the screen, it gives you the prompt. And it's kind of obvious the prompt is there, and I don't like the blinking prompt. I'd rather have a solid prompt. And if people can't figure that out, I don't really care. I mean, this is, the initial release of this is going to be for people who are good with stuff. Like, I mean, like, I don't mean like people aren't good with stuff, but like good with technical things. Subsequent releases will clean it up to so less technical people can use it. But right now it's a technical product, so a highly technical product anyway. So using search. So this little function right here handles clicking on the screen and getting you the prompt to go there. And it also does this thing where if there's a selection, it doesn't do that. So like as I'm clicking while I'm doing this, I'm clicking right now, it says, oh, you've got some, when I let go, it says you have something selected. When I click here and I select something, then it says, oh, you've got something selected, so I'm not going to put it down here. So Another thing that we could do possibly is if we select something and we detect that we have something selected, we could go ahead and copy it, and then we could put a button on the screen and you could say paste. And then you could click on it and it would paste it into this. It would select this and then paste it in there. But I'm also considering a paste function, which would allow me to paste in, or a user to paste in a large amount of JSON. And what we could do is we could pop up an input box. And then the input box, you could paste in JSON, and then you could click submit, and then that'll send it into the index. So there's a lot of work to do with the UI. So some work will be done with the UI. If I think in the future that using jQuery terminal over jQuery console is better, then I will. But the reason I picked console to begin with was because it was very short and easy to deal with, and I took a bunch of stuff out of it that it didn't need. Right now it's very simple and I like it that way, and the reason why is because this will probably become like if you remember the Quake terminal type style where you push a button and this slides down and you use it. This will be the power interface for the site. The site will probably have another interface that's created later after launch. I'm not a UI designer, so UI design needs to be done on it, and I just not any way to do that right now without getting all the back end stuff done. So that's why it's the way it is. It probably will change the way it looks, but this will probably stay this way in some shape or form moving forward in the future. I'm thinking, again, I've talked about it briefly on stream before, but it'll probably look a little bit like a Slack UI or something like that. Will probably be what it ends up looking like. And the main reason why is because we've got this idea of searching with web, SMS, or Slack. So if you're in SMSing it, it looks like a little chat window. And you can't throw a bunch of search results back in there. You have to be careful about what you throw back. And what you send the user, you can't just text them a whole bunch of stuff. And then in Slack, it's going to look like Slack. So making it look like Slack on the web is just sort of like a hybrid of SMS and Slack UI is probably going to be something that kind of works probably. And right now this looks more like a terminal shell than anything, but it's not a terminal shell. I mean, you can't edit things in here or anything like that. You're having a conversation with a bot. Okay, so we've got that issue fixed here. So we need to fix the quotes in the grub save because right now that's not working. And I'll show you what I mean. So let's go over to Google News. And this one right here is a great example. So this says quotes in it. So if we put local host 8080 in front of this should not work. Well, it did. Idaho won't stand for it. Governor Little voices concern with President Biden's COVID relief bill. Okay, well, all right, so that worked. What about if we have double quotes? Let's try this one. Okay. So that's a localhost. Well, that one works too. So it says Biden backs Congress scrapping post 9/11 laws that led to forever wars. Okay. I'm just looking for stuff that has double quotes in it. I don't think I fixed this. Maybe I did fix it. I don't remember. Well, we need something that has double quotes in the description. Let's just keep looking. Let's try this one. This one has single quotes. Well, that one works too. Well, that's got single quotes in there. Let's go look at the code real quick. This is in Grub. And it says here that it's going to take the line and that's going to be submitted to... You know what's interesting is maybe it wasn't the quotes, maybe it was a carriage return that was the problem. And I just recently fixed that. So let's look at the crawler here, just /g post, this thing. So we're going to get the line, and then we're going to send it to the line builder. And then we're going to get the URL out, and we're going to get the tags out. And then at some point, we're going to go crawl it here. So then the crawl happens. And that crawl is for beautiful soup. So there's two crawls really that happen. One crawl happens from AppEngine, so from Python using soup. Oh, you know what? I did fix it here. Oh no, that's the title, content replace. Also, I was replacing carriage returns and line feeds. I feel like it's not, if the description has a double quote in it, it's not going to work. I don't think. Well, I need something with double quotes, so we'll just create something. We need to put it in the description. So it goes into the OG description section. Actually, we'll just do it with the title. So we're going to create a page here so we can test. Well, we have an about page. So let's hack up the about page. And this is block content. This extends page base HTML. I guess we can just hack up the whole thing. Oh, yeah, we can just put it right here. So let's put it in double quotes like this. And then let's try to crawl it ourselves. I don't know if this is going to work, but it might. 8080 about. Just about. Let's look at it. There it is. Let's put it around let's put it like this. I don't know, I swear this was the problem, but maybe it wasn't the problem. It could have been that it was line feeds. I don't know. We tried putting it in the title. Here's the description. So let's try wrapping this in single quotes. And then we'll put this down here like this. Yeah, let's try that. Let's reload this page. And then there's some problem stuff. So let's put a space right here. And then let's reload the page. And then we're gonna try to crawl it again. That's not the right one. And that's not the right one either. Here it is. That clicking stuff is much better. Yeah, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. So let's see if it, which one is the problem? So let's delete this one. Like this. We'll put the single quotes back in here. Let's try it again. It's gonna break again because it's in the title, I think. Yeah, it's in the title. So it says unexpected token P in JSON at line 30 reported. And I think that's coming in from, I don't know why search isn't saved there. I think that's coming in from, oh, it's coming in from Soup. It's Soup's fault. Here. So one thing that we could do, I don't know, why am I returning it like this? I have no idea. So let's go look at crawl. What we need up is, we don't need builder, we don't need shell, we don't need auth, we don't need int, well, we need index. No, we just need base. We need our devlog. Go over there. We're gonna close this. So base is where we've created our problem for ourselves. I don't know why. Oh, I see what I need to do here. I'm gonna comment that out real quick. I was working on getting the links working again, which we will do here in just a minute. So we'll come back to that. Okay, so here's Soup, but we've got some weird, I don't even know what I'm doing here. It's like I'm returning a dictionary. Must have been a weird day. Okay, so I'm going into crawl, and then I'm saying here, where is it? Here, result equals HTML crawl. And then I'm accessing things like title, and then I'm sending it to the spool. So I'm setting it in the spool. So the result is coming back as a dictionary. So I'm returning a dictionary. See, that's a little silly, isn't it? I guess it's silly, I don't know. I mean, where's it barfing? Is it down here in this? I want to say it's got to be down here. This is a JSON dumps. Should we do a JSON dumps on this? Because I don't know that it'll have an issue sticking it in the database like that. That way it'll encode it. So let's try that and see if that works. Nothing? Nothing at all. Parse error. Okay. I don't even know where that's reported. I don't even know where that's coming from. Oh. What? Git about. Expecting value line 2 column 1. Char 1. I don't know where that's coming from. Parser error. Okay, let's look at the result. Oh, I know. I remember now. So network. Let's do this. So we're going to get something back here with this. There's our error. There's the problem. So I think it tried to do something sensible with it, but it's not working. Why is it double quoted? 399. I don't know, position 399, that's probably in here somewhere. So that is the problem, is that it's barfing on the title and the title and when it's encoding it into JSON, it's barfing on the title. So it says title. So here's the title. Well, I'm just curious of what it looks like in the database. So this is a spool that gets created for it. And it's this one? Yeah, right there. So that looks okay. That's the description. Where's the title? Title's fine. I guess we fixed the title, didn't we? Let's go look at the title. That's in base. Yeah, we didn't leave the title fucked up. The problem's here. So it's saving in the database fine, which is sort of to be expected. The problem is here is that it's corrupting the JSON. Although look at that. That's double quoted. For some odd reason. Is it because it's is it because I'm quoting this? I don't know. Oh, I guess it is. Because config app name is already quoted, I think. So that's double quoting it. Okay. So is this double quoted? It looks like it's double quoted. Yeah, that's double quoted too. So if we delete this, does our problem go away? That doesn't look right. I guess it is though, because it is a string. So it should put quotes around it for us. Okay, let's try it again. Actually, let's go look at the page. And see, that's wrong. That's not gonna work. This has to be in quotes. We'll put it in single quotes because everything else is in single quotes in here. There we go. So this is still a problem, probably. Yeah, that's still a problem. So how are we gonna get rid of that? Spool title. Let's look and see what we're saying up here. So we're saying the title is the result title. We're creating a spool. If there's not a spool, we're creating a spool. Do we need to get rid of it because it's corrupted? Maybe. Let's get rid of it. Let's delete it. Yep, confirm. And then let's go try it again. And we're getting the same error. So well, is it because of this? Oh, you know what? Dumps? Wait, I don't want to mess with that one. God knows I don't want to mess with any code I've already written. It's working. So let's take this and this out of here and let's do this instead. So it's using spool.json here. So let's go into spool.json here. Spool.json. We will have to go into spools.json as well, but let's go into here and see if we can do to JSON here. Let's see if this helps our situation any. It doesn't help our situation at all. Let's see here. inspect. There's the problem. And see, this is still double quoted. What the hell? I don't understand that. What is double quoting that? Soup? Is it soup doing it? You know what? It probably is soup doing it. No. URL result equals. I wonder if it's because I'm putting in here. I mean, I could do something like this. Let me try that. I don't think this is going to help. I don't understand why it's double quoted. This is guaranteed not to work. See? No worky. I'm on localhost. Canadian goose. Canada goose, not Canadian. Canada geese or Canada goose, not Canadian geese or Canadian goose. 8080 slash about. So there's, well, it's really frustrating because, like, I don't understand why there's double quotes in there. I mean, I guess what I can do here is I could say title equals title dot replace comma with nothing. And then I could say the same thing for description. Like that. Let's take this out because it did absolutely nothing. Alright, let's go try it again. Still an error. Still double quoting them. This one's interesting though. It took the quote out of for the problem. But it's still double quoting it. Oh, you know what? That's the quote right there. Here. That's not supposed to be there. I don't know why. Because it's already quoted. Those file names is not quoted like that. I don't know, like upload URL. I think it's because I'm pulling it out and it's a string. I don't know. Seems a little odd. So is this gonna work? That's all it's gonna take to fix it? That's ridiculous. No. That is not what is the case. Now they're not quoted at all. What the hell? How can they get two quotes? Oh, because I made it to JSON. So I could do this. Yeah. Like this. And then what I could do is I could go into soup and I could take out these two things. I don't need to do this. Because it'd be nice to keep the quotes. Because it's not really accurate not to keep the quotes. Yeah, there we go. Bam! So that was all that we needed to do. Okay, so spool error, no, spool tag. Spool tag needs it. Yeah, spool tag needs it. I don't know if I'm using spool tag. Let's find out. grep-r, and I'm in the main directory, so recursive. And then what do I call it? Spool tag. spool tag JSON. Now wait a minute, let's see, it's like find dot slash, I don't know, grep-r spool tag dot JSON in all the files. So it is in tag.py. I am using it. Okay, so we're gonna go in here and take that out, and then we're gonna say to JSON. Now all this other stuff, like the upload URL, all of that will get encoded. I'd say the upload URL, the URL itself. So this is entered by the user. None of this other crap is entered by the user. This is me, this is me, this is me. The name is me, the nickname is me. The upload URL is me. The URL is the user. The title and the description are coming technically from the URL, so sort of from the user. The user has control of it. The tags are coming from the user. The file names are coming from me, and the full text is coming from the page. So the thing I would be concerned about is the tags. But, so I guess we wouldn't want to put a quote in a tag like this. Like that. That's going to break. I don't want quotes and tags. So maybe I strip quotes and single quotes out of tags. So that'll have to happen in the crawl tags, spool tags here. Yeah, tags equals URL tag string request form for tag and tag string split comma. You know, that isn't used anymore, I don't think. Request form tags, handle tags. I swear to God I rewrote that. This is from crawl. That's a request form get tag. What? Oh, that's in. That's the API. This is the API. Here's the tags. Tags equals query tags. So tags becomes a list from query tags. And query tags is in the builder here. So it's coming in from the line here. Yeah, here. I'm a little worried about this because I thought I rewrote this. This needs to be rewritten. Let me put that in the dev log. What is the other one that's similar to? Here, upload. Like this. So it's in the upload handler. I'm bouncing around a bit. I need to finish this up. Okay, so what needs to happen here is for mark and power tags of mark, return tags. We're just stripping out the single quotes and double quotes. Probably a better way to do that. That's the way I do it. Let's try it again. New. It says error in the evaluated script. Where? So we'll take out the quotes. So there's foo. But then, so this is what we're running. Let's print tags here. So is it's an error in the evaluation of it? I don't understand. Where's the barfing? It's barfing here. Let's look for foo. I think foo would be, oh, there it is right there. Oh, the line has it in it. That's interesting. We're gonna have to strip it out in the grub command. Because if we use single quotes, then that's not going to work. We got to. Oh, I know what I know exactly what. Well, we really shouldn't allow quoted things in the entire string anyway. When somebody's typing in things, they shouldn't be able to put quotes in there. I don't think. Because I mean, I think what's happening right now is that you can do something like this. They can do like, is it single quote, console, let's see, it's alert, something like this. I think you can do that. Nope. Can you do this? Yeah, that's what you can do. Can you put this in there like this? Yes, you can. I kind of like you can do that, but I don't like that you can quote out that foo. Maybe I shouldn't worry about it right now. I like that you can do this. That's pretty cool. But I don't know. I'm gonna leave it. I want to put in here, let's see, so I need to fix single and double quotes in things like yep. Okay, fix. This has been fixed. And then in Builder, I don't think I need to do this because it never gets there. So I'm just going to take that out. Okay, now I'm going back in. I'm going to finish this stuff. This, let's see here. So I was fixing this quotes when the grub saves. So this should be working now, right? So we can do something like this. That works. Having error. Oh. Yes, yes. Thank you. Okay. That works. How are we on time? Hour and 12. Good deal. Time flies. I'm getting stuff done. Okay, so we're going to search title Mitta. Try to search for this in a little bit. Grub servers are busy. Oh, that's coming back from, and this has to be done like this. I don't know why. And there's a problem here. I'm not seeing any matches from that search. So that's in search. So we're gonna close that, and that should be fixed. And we fix spool tag. Who knows if that works? And then we need to look at spools here. Spool title to JSON. This is to JSON, like that. So that's in case we look at if we have a title or description that we're listing of the spools, for the spools. And if we create a spool out of a URL, then the spool acquires the title and description from the URL, if it can crawl it. Probably can rename it, maybe. Okay, so we're gonna close that. We're gonna close that. We're gonna close this. And then we're gonna roll this back. So this needs to be not a problem, like that. And then we'll go take a look at our page again, our about page, command line user search, OG description, meta name description, title, OG title. I think that's the only ways that you can do that, and we've got them all covered. And let's go look and make sure the page works. Not that. This. And we have a title, and then we're going to go in here and do the page source, and we have our description here, and our description here. So that's good. We get rid of this one. Now we're done with that. Fix single double quotes and things like, yeah, the tags, yep. Initial crawl of URL not updating spool image. Is that true? Let's see if we can what did I say was going on just a second ago? Looks like it was this search no results, doesn't scroll. Okay. So now we're going to go fix, no, we can't fix that. So we're going to wait on that. Initial crawl of URL not updating spool image. That's investigate the issue with erasing history on grub redirect. Yeah, we're going to wait on that. Fix the tags to use posted data in the /g endpoints. Okay, yes. We need to do that. Let's go check and see if we... Can I click on this now? Goodness, I can click on that now. Okay. Let's create a new one. Quantum Puma. And then let's delete Intelligent Hypnotic Wolf. Great. So we have Quantum Puma, okay, and then we're going to search like that, and there's not anything in there. We got to fix that, and we're going to look at that here in a second. So it says here, initial crawl of URL not updating spool image. So we got to get rid of our spools. So let's do this. So we're going to delete all of our spools. I should never expect to keep those spools. The other ones I deleted. I was sad because I had a bunch of URLs in there, so whatever. At one point we will not be deleting them, but for now we are deleting them. And then these are the spools that I've saved things into, and I'm going to delete those real quick. And while those are deleting, I'm going to go close the door because it's getting cold in here. Sweet. Those are all gone. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to come in here. We don't need this anymore. And we're going to tell Quantum Puma to index something. So, crawl something, I should say. So we're going to grub https://news.google.com. Now, I think the deal is that if we go in here and look at this, we're actually going to have an image. And there it is. And the reason why it's not updating is because when the grub server calls back, it's not updating the index. So even though, like, if our timeout, we're looking at the spool. So we're actually looking at the spool to see if here in a timeout we've got this still working thing here. So after well, I mean, it should be 20 seconds, but after that long, then what's happening is it's not, it's done a, let's see, after still, so it says set timeout, and then it's going to grab the spool by the name, which we still need to fix. Fix the spool names to use Nix. So yeah, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Am I? I'm confusing myself here. So we're actually we're doing a request to the spool. So let's watch it this time. We'll have to do another one. So we'll do Y Combinator. Like this, /news. And then we're gonna watch this go network here. So that's the result from the index, and then we're gonna get here in just a few seconds. It says 20 seconds, but it seems like it's a lot shorter. Seems like it's been about 8 seconds, 12 seconds, 14 seconds. There's the request. So it's looking for the spool, and there's the file name. It found the file name. Those file names need to be, so what I could do now right this second is I could just go ahead and say, well, I'm going to show you whatever is in there, which I think I'm doing. So it says, try to search for this in a little bit. Grub servers are busy. Why does it say that? So it says, try to search for this. Else, if last bag does not equal this, for each file names equals response file names. So last bag equals file name. See, that's not a good way to handle it. The spool definitely needs to have all the file names. But then I want to say that maybe it needs like some additional metadata about when the files got added or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like this data structure needs to be fleshed out a little bit. I'm definitely going to take each file name and create a separate document for it. So it will get, that will get done, but you'll note here that whenever we index it, we don't have any of that stuff. We don't have this file name. So this thing runs asynchronously after it's been indexed. So it'll immediately index it. So here it says site has been indexed using the title and description. But then we're getting the image back from the grub server, and then the grub server's making the callback, and the grub server's updating the spool, but the grub server's not indexing it. So you don't get that file being indexed. So that's the thing that needs to happen. Is another thing that needs to happen is grub server does callback. It creates a new document in the index. Well, actually, it sends the spool and the image to the sidekick. And that just means the index. It sends it into the index. And it's not going to necessarily send all the file names in there, although it could, but it doesn't have to. So maybe there's a separate object here called file or recent file or something like that that says, which you would know then if you could look at the updated date and you could say, well, the updated date is now, just a minute ago, and then here's the file, and then here's the list of file names that we already had. in case you want to go look those up, or you want to look those up as the document. You want to look those documents up, and then you could go look up the times for those documents. You wouldn't necessarily need to, like, the spool itself is just a collection of file names, so it doesn't really need a lot of resolution. I don't think by itself it doesn't need a lot of resolution, but in the index you might want a lot of resolution, because you have things looking at things that are, you have stuff like the machine, like the index or the sidekick technically looks at the spool at a certain time, creates a document that then is searchable later over time. But then you could also have a tagger look at the image later, which is a machine learning library. The library looks at it, or the model looks at it and says, the machine learning model looks at it and says, oh hey, there's something in this, and then it creates a document that says what's in it. And then it's not going to reference all the file names, it's going to reference the spool that it's in and the file that it looked at, or the image that it looked at, where it found stuff. Okay, so that's going to be needed. Well, the thing that needs to happen right now is, what needs to happen is in Grub, I need to figure out why the hell it's not like printing out that file. So I don't really need, so at the point that I get this back, I'm going to, really I just need the file name. I need the first file name. I think that'd be the easiest thing to do. I don't need this last bag crap. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a controller report on the file names. I think that should work. And there's another kind of pseudo issue here, which is that we're running this at 20 seconds, but it could be done. It could be done by now, so we don't really need to wait around that long. And there it is. So it does know about it. There's only one there. If we go look at it, there's only one there. Oh wait, it's the other one. It's another spool. Yeah, this one. There it is. So it only gave us one. It only gave us one, so it wasn't done. So Herm. I need to think about this one a little bit. What's our time look like? Well, we're at an hour 30, and we had talked about maybe limiting them to 90 minutes now per day. So I think I'm going to do that. So we're going to cut the stream off here. So let's take a look at what we've done today. So we've fixed, and this was a little odd, some of this was off stream. So we fixed the logins. Let's go ahead and push while we're at it. So I'll show you this new thing as well. So I wrote this little, so when you run app-bat now, there's this, this is what I always run to start it, but then what I'm doing now is I've got it where you can start local dev or you can deploy to AppEngine. I was always forgetting what the command was. And I don't know why that beeps now, you notice that? It's kind of cool, isn't it? It only beeps when this thing is running. So it's like, I don't know if it's the echo. It could be the echo. I have no idea what it is. Like, it's something in here. I mean, I was running essentially this earlier. That was what was running in the batch file earlier, and then I added all this junk, and now whenever I switch to it, it's got to be down there at the bottom. Nope, it's saying I'm a liar. Okay, there's a \r in there. Oh, I gotta choose. I gotta get rid of this. That doesn't work. Okay, there it is. I don't know why it does that. It's so weird. Well, anyway. So Control C, terminate bash job, yes. And now I'll see. Now I'll do it. I was like, what is it? It's coming out of my headphones. It's so weird. I have no idea what's going on. Software is so weird. It's got a mind of its own. Okay, there we go. So now we're pushing. So we're gonna push everything that we did. I'm like, I don't have a lot of time left here. This should work. Oh yeah, this was not going to work because that's not going to work because I'm not running. But so at this moment in time, you should be able to crawl, and you should be able to search. And you can search by title and description, but you cannot search by full text yet. But that's very close. And so what I need to do is I need to sort some of these. So I'll do some of these on stream, but I definitely need to clean up the API docs a little bit. So there's some stuff here that I still need to fix, but we streamed today. So streamed 90 minutes. And so it was like auth. And then we fixed some JavaScript, clicking, and some other stuff. What else did we fix? Oh yeah, quotes. Deleted some code, and then wrote some code. I don't know what else to put in here. This is just notes. I don't know how to keep this. This is probably what I'm going to use. I'll use every day. So this will have an entry for tomorrow, which I'll go ahead and put in here. And hopefully we'll do a stream tomorrow. I'm going to go volunteer tomorrow at a local nonprofit, and they're doing some work around the corner, and I'm going to go shovel some dirt or something. But I'll definitely get a stream in tomorrow. So anyway, thank you for joining me. We're getting closer and closer by the day, by the stream. And I said, I think we're episode 26. I said, I think by the time we hit episode 50, we'll be ready for release. And I'll probably episode, late 40s, probably implement payments so that people can start giving me money, because I need to get some money and start rolling in to work on this. I need a little bit of traction because I don't want to take money from VCs if I do that at all, until I have a little bit of revenue coming in. I mean, even just a handful of people doing it would be enough, so I could see what they're doing with it. So, we've got roughly, we're like episode wise, we're halfway through, but I'm trying really hard to get an episode out a day. So yesterday I did 2 to try to make up for the break in the middle of the week. And I may get a wild hair and do it tonight. Maybe. We'll see. I'm going to go walk for a little bit, and then I'll be back later. But anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon. I'm Cord Campbell, and this is Coding Mitta. So give me a thumbs up if you can, and be sure and stay tuned. Thank you. I'll see you soon. And have a wonderful day.